about Beaglebone and beagleboard.org. So last year I qualified in the Google Summer of Code for beagleboard.org, and that's when I discovered the field of open source hardware and contributing to it. So today I'm going to be talking about how you can start contributing to Beaglebone, beagleboard.org, and how you can essentially step into the world of embedded development, plus how you can even contribute to the Linux kernel tree for these embedded hardware. So first of all, a very brief introduction to what the Beaglebone is all about. So if you go to Google and you just type beagleboard.org, it will show up, this site will open essentially. And here you can see the specifications of Beaglebone have been given. So Beaglebone essentially is something called a system on chip, which basically means that it has a lot of peripherals that gives you analog output input, digital output input, and it's essentially a microcomputer that can perform many of the tasks that your desktop can do, and it can be used to make a lot of interesting projects, whether on the hardware side and the software side, or even a combination of the two, which is what we refer to as physical computing. So a very brief introduction to Beaglebone would be, you can see that it's like a computer. It has 512 MB DDR3 RAM, that's double data rate 3 RAM. It has a 4 GB 8-bit eMMC, which is basically an onboard storage, much like your hard disk on your computer. And other than that, it has pretty exciting features such as it has a 3D graphics accelerator and something called a neon floating point accelerator, which allow you to do faster computations on images and apply ML algorithms and make them faster essentially. So if you come to this website, you can first of all you can start by clicking on discovering the board, and you can maybe say click on Beaglebone Black. That's the most common of all the Beaglebones, and it will open up a page where it will show you about the Beaglebone. So it says it's a low-cost, community-supported development platform for developers and hobbyists. So this Beaglebone can run many operating systems. Mostly we run Debian on it because development is pretty easy. And I discussed about the features earlier. You can see it has a AM335X processor, which belongs to the ARM A8 family, Cortex A8 family. And there are many other such Beaglebones. So Beaglebone Black, then there's Beaglebone Black Wireless, then there's Beaglebone Green, so on and so forth. So you can take a look at all of them, but the most common is Beaglebone Black. Now, once you've understood what the Beaglebone is all about, you can look at it, you can do projects on it essentially in either of the two ways. So if you come to beagleboard.org, you can you can see the projects that are being done over here that were shown. So just one sec. So helpful projects list is over here. You can see a lot of cool things have been done, Blitter bike and stuff. These are essentially complete hardware plus software solutions. So they would involve a lot of hardware skills as well as your coding skills. But these are complete products, and you can actually market them. And since Beaglebone is an open source product, you can even make your own Beaglebone because the design is completely open source. So you can see all the registered projects. So you can have projects in distro designing, in library or app designing for the Beaglebone. You can explore many such projects that have been done or in the process of being doing. Essentially, when I look at these projects, as far as I see, there is a clear demarcation. I mean, you can have projects that only work on the hardware part of it. For example, designing capes and things like that. Personally speaking, I don't really enjoy doing that. I am more towards the software side. So I work in Linux, in writing device drivers, in writing firmware, but that does involve some knowledge of the architecture of the processor that the Beagleboard has. So I mean, there are two ways to go about it. You can either come to beagleboard.org, look at the projects and get started on an embedded project from over here. And there are many such basic projects also. I mean, you can come, you can go to get started, and you can essentially start learning right away from here and how to boot up and what all other things are required. But if you're more towards the software side, or I would say you are interested in Linux per se, and you have experience of kernel development and you're interested in exploring it further, So in that case, you should look at projects that have been done in the past Google Summer of Code. So I mean, mostly projects in Google Summer of Code related to software. So mostly the things that are done with Linux happen in GSOC. And I mean, the possibilities are infinite. You can write device drivers, you can add to the core functionality in Linux, and that is essentially the same way you would do it as you would contribute to Linux that is based on the x86 system, not on a ARM Cortex A8, but on an x86 system that's mostly present in modern day laptops. So I mean, and then the dream is, I mean, the final goal is to get whatever you write for the Linux kernel pushed upstream to the main kernel tree. So I mean, you would essentially be contributing to the main kernel tree for beagleboard.org. As an example, the project that I did last year mostly involved me writing code for something called the Programmable Real-Time Unit, which is again a microprocessor on the Beagle board, writing firmware for it, and then writing device drivers in Linux to make Linux recognize the functionality that I was providing this microprocessor with. So, I mean, if you're a Linux junkie, so to speak, I mean, you can just go for any microprocessor and start writing device drivers for it. That's just one way of contributing. So you can see on my GitHub account, I've opened the driver page, and this is just opening. So here you can see there's some problem with the net. So, but here you can see that I have written this is the device driver that I wrote for the SPI subsystem in Linux, and you can see it's all related to how you would develop the Linux in the Linux kernel. So if you're interested in these sort of things, it's essentially in C. You should go for GSOC project and stuff. And I mean, you can view the ideas at beagleboard.gsoc/ideas on the eLinux page for GSOC. So I mean, there are a lot of ideas given over here, and you can start, I mean, doing the basic things. Beaglebone audio platform, these are all mostly software projects. Beaglebone GPU offload, for those of you who are interested in ML and stuff like that, you would know that the GPU is essentially required for faster computations, and here they are targeting offloading many of the image processing tasks to GPU, so things like that. Now, if you want to get help, you can go to the IRC, that's the Internet Relay Chat, and go to Freenode, the server, and then go to Beagle, #Beagle channel. And specifically for GSOC, it is Beagle-GSOC. So you can go there, ask for help from mentors, and you can even mail the Beagleboard mailing list. You can just type on Google Beagleboard mailing list, and the first link that comes would essentially be that. You can just mail and ask for help. Other than that, you can even ask me for help. I am available on Facebook, on WhatsApp. You can contact me wherever you want. So this was an introductory video to Beaglebone. For the sake of brevity, I have not talked about everything that would go into it, but I guess this could be a first step for you to start contributing to Linux, especially for embedded systems, to contribute to Beagleboard by doing projects and exploring the world of physical computing and embedded hardware. Thank you for your time. So you can get more information about my GSOC project or beagleboard.org from my website, that is vaibhavchoudhary.com. So if you just come over here and you click on the Google Summer of Code part, you can see an introductory video to my project, which will explain the basics of Beaglebone as well. The repository on GitHub, my proposal, which I submitted, although I'm not sure if the link would be active right now, I would have to check. And I started blogging about it, but the website got pulled down. However, I'll be putting it up again, so you can check out my blogs as well whenever you have the time. Thank you.